Mr. Elvis, are you there? The live streaming has started. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you. Yes.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I want to welcome series. I want to appreciate the guests, especially. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Ibrahim Abdulkarim is the DG of the Big Tent Independent Campaign Council. Am I correct, sir?
Yeah, Obidient Team. Independent Presidential Campaign Council.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Welcome you to this session this afternoon, and we appreciate your time.
No,
you already have the topic with you, sir, and then so we go straight to the issues that we have to discuss this afternoon. I want to begin by asking you, sir, are you proud of the Labour Party right now?
Actually, you asked me a question that people will see it that maybe I'm coming against somebody. As a person, I'm already wired to appreciate good things, appreciate doing things the right thing, or doing the right thing. I am wired to appreciate people that have principles, integrity, and also I'm wired to see people that sacrifice their position, their time, their money for order to have to benefit others. I'm distressed to seeing people that are self-centered, people that think about themselves, and people that try to portray anything or portray everything to favor them. In life as women, if you remove greed and you work selfless, it gives you more of fulfilling within inside you to feel happy about what you are doing and to really feel good about yourself. And that feeling, money cannot buy it. That feeling, status cannot buy it. It's just the impact you give to society that is coming back to you, that you can have that feeling. So that's the ideology that I was wired to see. So if I tell you I'm happy with what I've seen in the Labour Party, what they did in a way, definitely I'm not happy. My reasons are just very simple. We lost election in 2003 because of a structure. And that structure, we can do it within the convention framework, because the convention will give us room for us to bring more Nigerians into Labour Party and to structure ourselves very well, and also to put up all the elected positions that we need within the party. They have at least like 16 elective offices within the ward, and we have 8,809 wards. And we have another 16 to 774 local government. We have 21 elective position to 36 states plus Abuja, which is giving us 37. And also we have a total of, I think 24 or 26 officials for the national. So if you can do the maths, people that have very good in mathematics, you can do the maths here for us. Even 16 times 8,809 is not a small number. It's not a small number at all. Somebody can do it for us and drop it so that we can we have an idea of that. And then if we're talking about local government level structure, we do 16 times 774. It's not a small number. If you add all these numbers together, that's the elective positions we need to get people, human beings, nationalists, Nigerians on the world level up to that national level. I think Mr. Aburi and his team, I think they have not quite appreciate what the convention will do for them. But that's what I said. I always get angry when people look at things toward themselves, not towards the bigger picture. If they will allow us, we're going to get a very big number just for us to get up to what is called national structure of a Labour Party. Number two, we have elective positions that we're going into election. Last year, I think we have 1,418 elective positions to vie for, from state assembly to governors to senators to House of Rep members, 1,700. In that position, we think that if we separate, we push it to our people to contest, maybe each seat will have a minimum of 2 or 3 people contesting. We do the math. We have a huge number of people that can give us offices, people that can do rallies, and then showcase the flag of a Labour Party for us to consolidate on what we want to do. And that's what makes me very angry. I think the first thinking for a national chairman, even if he's going to give up his seat, he's supposed to think of the optics, what is the bigger picture. The bigger picture is to make sure that Mr. Imita will be won, and we have a structure for us to even pull up some of the things we want to do. For example, if we have this structure, it's easier for Nigerians to relate back to us from all the what 8,809 was to tell us that this place we need bridge, this place we need to drink potable drinking water. There's a problem of health that we have. So within this structure alone, we can have what is called a clear manifesto of what we intend to do for Nigerians when we win the election. The benefit is enormous. We can use it to do crowdfunding, to source of money from all people that we're supposed to do. Same structure will give us agents that we are not going to wait for people that are pay as you go. They can work with APC, PDP, and any other party once they are giving money to the people that we know they are interested in New Nigeria, and also to help us guide our vote. Because we know even during the 2020 election, that's the major problem we have. We have no people to guide our votes. We have more than 6 million votes. Everybody is aware of that, but we don't have people to stand to protect our vote. I think this is one of the major problems that we really get us very angry on what really happened in that convention. Another thing is that quickly, if I can add another one for the third one, our principal, Mr. Peter Obi, gave them a small directive. When they met him, the chairman met him that they wants to do convention. He said, do an all-inclusive election, all-inclusive convention. Before you even put the date and the venue, try and consult with the stakeholders. And he mentioned the stakeholders to them. He said that you should go and meet the NLC, you should go and meet the TUC, you should go and meet the elected governor, Alex Oti of Abia State, go and meet the 8 senators that we have, and also the 35 House of Rep members, and also the state assembly members that we have in the party of elected officers on Labour Party. And go and meet Obidient Movement, go and the civil society organization, meet somebody like Peter or Pat Otom, Professor Pat Otom, and others that are all stakeholders on this movement, so that you carry everybody along. You have a set-out. When you have a set-out with them, don't be afraid of your own seat. Your own seat can be secured once we can get the structure of what you want to do. So it's also what they ignore, and also they went ahead to do it. And the fourth one, if I can add, please, part of things that if I say I'm disappointed. So the fourth one is that we already been allotted 6 million votes by INEC. We have 8 senators, a sitting governor, 35 House of Rep members. At least with this number, we're supposed to showcase ourselves for the international audience to see us, and also other people that are calling our principals to have a conversation for him, how he's going to win 2027. And then we carry a convention and then do the same thing that APC and PDP we are accusing of structure of criminality, and also bring it on also transactional politics, and bring it to our own party that we want to showcase to the world how we are going to do things different. And also, I think it's not good for our principal to hide him in any way, while we're supposed to bring him out to the world, like to MQ Abiola Stadium, which is the 8,000-seater stadium, which if we bring 200,000 Obedients to Abuja for a convention to elect our national principal, is going to be unique. It's going to be loud. Everybody is going to be happy with it. We are going to, the whole world will know that we're not just talking, we are doing the talk, and also we do a credible election to showcase to Nigerians that this is who we are, and this is the kind of Nigeria we are thinking for. But also, everything went below expectation, and then that's why we are not happy with what really happened.
Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate how you throw light on what is good or best for the party. But the ordinary Nigerian does not understand these details that you have put out. As far as the ordinary Nigerian is concerned, there are crises in the leadership of the Labour Party. And so I want to ask you that. I'll come back to asking you questions along the line of the issues you've laid out. But before then, is there a crisis in the leadership of the party as we speak today?
I don't think, as of today, there is crisis because the stakeholders from NLC to elected officers and also are not happy. And there are certain we can see. Definitely, there is a crisis. Nobody can take away that from, but at least yesterday, our principal said all hands will be on deck for us to resolve the crisis so that it won't escalate beyond the confusion we already have seen ourselves from the last convention. So it's true, there is crisis in the party.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. The issues you have laid out as regard the convention that was held, I want to ask you, can this be corrected? Because a lot of people believe that the National Working Committee and the Abure-led executive are now working against each other. From what we read in the papers and what we see in the news, the National Working Committee is saying, no, this convention cannot stand. And the Abure-led executive is saying, look, we have conducted this convention and this is what we are going by. What could be the way forward for you? Is there any means of resolving this issue or having this issue of convention resolved in the nearest time possible?
Yeah, I think our principals are already reaching out to them, both the two warring parties, and talking to them. I think they will be on to have this conversation immediately after Easter. A lot of people have already gone out to celebrate their Easter with their families and things like that. Immediately they come back, I think they are going to have a sit-outs for them to have a talk about this. I think there is nothing that is not negotiable. I think there is nothing that we cannot adjust. It's just that the mindset of some of them around Mr. Aburi. Aburi is not the only one. I think there are some people that feeding him a very wrong information. I don't want to call name, but everybody knows the one of the person that took them to Inewi, who is grandstanding and also showing that he can even kill. I don't think there is anything that has to do with killing anybody because of convention or party chairmanship seat. But some people are already wired to be very violent and also to see themselves above God, and also to see themselves as people that they can grab it and run with it, as we have seen during 2020 election. And so we don't have that spirit of sacrifice in the country. When you want to put people to where they want to go to, you have to have that spirit of what they call it, sacrifice. And also we have to balance the system. We have almost 21 elective positions, which I think the southern part of the country taken away. I think 21 or so. We have only 5 coming from the north, and all the remaining are coming from the south. I think when we come into Labour Party, we wanted to adjust some of these abnormalities so that we can have the sense of belonging for everyone for us to move. Because even the candidature of Mr. Peter Obi, what we are doing after him being the most competent of all the three, we still look at it as something, a symbol for national unity. If you look at section 15 of our constitution, has related very clear what we intend in the intention of bringing people as a Nigerian, and our person that will manage our diversity is the best for us to move ourselves to the next level of what we want to do. It's not about somebody having the title. Each title comes with responsibility. If you call yourself chairman, that responsibility you're supposed to uphold as being a chairman of a particular party, not for you just elementary place just to go around and the candidates come and give you money for you just to collect money for transactional value of what you want to do. And it's also damaging the the spirit of the young Nigerians, age 18 to 25, where they are looking for the Labour Party to be a stepping stone for them to create that new Nigeria. So I think my thinking is that it's something that is very we can solve if that the patriotic aspect of the Aluta people, which is the comradeship of Abu Rehan's team, to look at it beyond only them, to look at it on the wider and the bigger perspective of bringing in more people into the movement for us to move forward. If you challenge the NLC, for example, and you challenge your elective officers, and you challenge the Obidient Movement, so what's the remain? Virtually nothing in the Labour Party. You have nothing, because when Oshomole was there in Labour Party, immediately he left. Labour Party couldn't win any additional seats up to today in the Edo State. The same thing if you look at in Ondo, the same thing. The moment Mimiko left for PDP, Labour Party don't win anything. So people are aware of why they are coming to the smaller party. It's for them to make sure that at least an ideology is being built through somebody for them to win. So I think it's very important for the leadership of the party and also leadership of all this movement to understand that we are trying to build something that is bigger than almost everyone, bigger than me, myself, bigger than Peter Obi himself, bigger than all of you that are listening to us. It's something, a gift that we want to gift our own children and also yet unborn children. So if you look at it, that spirit can make them to come together and have a calculation of how they are going to settle this dispute, and also so that we can move forward.
Thank you. I think that everything you have said, is pointing to the fact that peace is needed within the party. You want people to do things selflessly and to consider the interests of the party. But should the Abure led executive, Abure and his team, refuse to consider these pictures that you have painted, should they refuse to allow the National Working Committee have their way with the bigger picture of what is good or better for the party, what option is on the table?
Actually, if we can make it the way what Adam Oshomole did, what other people does, we have to look for another nest for us to actualize what we want. We can't stay there. We can't stay with people that don't have principles, because if they don't have principle, we are going in the election with Tinubu in 2027, and everybody knows the kind of transactional democracy he has built in Lagos. So it's going to be very difficult for us, for somebody not to buy them because they don't have the integrity for them to put up a system for everyone to enjoy. Definitely, they can be bribed, they can be paid, and they can be an obstacle for us during the 2027 transaction. And also, if they decide to withdraw the leadership or the membership of Mr. Peter Obi at that level, what else can we do? So at least I think I have not seen any chairman that survived this kind of tragedy in his party right from the insertion of 1999 election. Once you break the trust between you and the people around you, you just have to go. It's never been easy for any chairman. We have seen it in PDP, we have seen it in the APC. Once you cause the confusion, then trust does move away from you. Then the people that want to contest, the people that are already there, the people that want to join, everybody will feel that you're not going to be sincere to the movement, and then everybody will try to leave. So I think it's for the best interest of the National Executive Council, the NEC, to consider open up and doing a new convention, all-inclusive convention, a convention that INEC will recognize and everybody among us will recognize, even though nobody is saying that we are going there to remove them from their positions. But if they warrant them leaving the position for the country to move forward, I think they're supposed to have the big heart for them to have this country so that we can use the platform of Labour Party to win more elections.
Thank you very much, sir. I have hands that are up.
Mr. Elvis, thank you. If I may ask a question here, Mr. Abdulkarim.
Yes, sir.
There was a very a Twitter post you made on, that will be on, sorry, forgive me. The Twitter
Go ahead.
post, sorry, the one that
Go
is
ahead,
on
Asha.
27th, that was 3 days ago, where you are kind of stating the way forward for the Obidient movement.
Yes.
Which it was that post that part of inspired this conversation we are having. So I have 3 questions around that post. One, the way P2B has handled this Labour Party leadership crisis, are you satisfied with that? This one. And second, if the Labour Party fails to satisfy the yearnings of the Obidient movement, would you advocate for the Obidient movement to seek their own salvation in
Are you
another?
still here, sir?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, very well.
Yes. So will you advocate for the Obidient movement to seek their own salvation outside the Labour Party? And then thirdly, there is another Twitter post again by someone else who was kind of saying, well, you guys doesn't understand internal party politics. Leave it to P2B, who has won election 2 times as governor, did very well in 2023. You don't know better than him. So why would you kind of tell P2B how to handle the party situation? In other words, Obidient movement guys, step back. Let politicians solve their problem. When it is election, they will call you back, and then you join the quest to restore political power from the people who had it now once again. So these 3 questions, how do you see these 3 things played at first? The way P2B is handling the Labour Party leadership crisis. Second, would you advocate for the Obidient movement to seek their own salvation outside another political structure? And third, or would you rather the Obidient movement step back and allow P2B and the politicians to sort out their political mess and then show them the way forward? Thank you.
Okay, so let's start with the first one. Am I satisfied? I think in Islam, there's what we call as-sulhu khair. In anything you are doing, reconciliation and putting things together is more important than any other route you are going to take. Even if you go to war, at the end of the war, you say sit down and talk. I think I'm satisfied that he said that he's going to get back to us and that he's going to talk with all the stakeholders to put up something that at least can bring everybody together, whether to do a new convention or to devise a means of still uniting ourselves within the Labour Party. I'm satisfied with that. I will allow him to exhaust his method before we can think of whether we are satisfied with what he's doing with them. But as of now, so what we have heard from him yesterday, okay, I know how he does his things. I think I can give him that for him to go and continue what he's doing. About the LP yearning for Obidient movement, what to do next? Definitely, if we can resolve the problem today, we're still going on for us to create a structure for Obidient movement and to give Obidient movement leadership and also a sense of direction. We want it to be a socio-economic powerhouse. I think Nigeria is right for us to have a movement that can challenge institutions for us to move forward. I think the reason for us to do that is that we've seen a lot of group of young people that have the same direction, but they don't have leadership. Still guided by what I know through anything he wants to do, even if 2 people are traveling, I think one of them is supposed to be a leader. I think the thinking of this unorganic system that the young people are talking about, it won't work in this kind of country because at the long run, it ends up just like NSAS. We need the leadership. Thank God Mr. Peter Obi is still alive. He's with us. He can lead this system for us to create a leadership structure for the Obidient movement from national up to world level. So that at least we know when to move, how to move, and also what to do with the strong followership of 6 million and above Nigerians who believe in his principles and what he wants to do. So I think it's just like a vehicle. If the vehicle don't have tires and if the vehicle driver is not around to take us where we want to go to, definitely we get another vehicle so that at least we achieve what we want to achieve. Solving the political taking. We have already declared yesterday, even before yesterday, we have already declared once you call yourself obedient, we are automatically politicians. Nobody will tell us that there are some people that are more politicians than us. What is politics? We play our politics in our houses, we play it in the mosques, we play it in the churches, we play it in the football field, we play it everywhere. It's part of life. So we will not allow anybody to gaslight us or to try to play with our mind, telling us that somebody is a politician while somebody is not. They have two heads, the politicians. They have only one head, and they drive by their powers and whatever they are wielding through us. Nobody, no Atiku, no Tinubu, no anybody can win election just sitting from his own palo. He needs people on ground to work the work for them. So sometimes if we have this kind of movement, we tell them what is wrong and what is right for the decision that are taken in behalf of us. So I stand to that we are all politicians, including you that are interviewing me and the people that are listening to us here. Because with politics and one pronunciation for political pronunciation will either sink the whole country or move the country up. And we can see when somebody says subsidy is gone, all of us will go together with the subsidy. So I think every Nigerian should be okay to tell himself and tell herself that we are all politicians at our own right, and we do everything possible to push this politics forward.
Okay, and so what is your idea on the structure of this proposed Obidient Movement structure you are talking about? How would you want it to pan out?
I think we're supposed to make the ideology out first, and also to make sure that at least we put up a vision and mission, so that at least anybody that comes onto the movement will be abide by the constitutions that we have put in upon ourselves of what we want to do. So we're not begging people just to come and join a movement that don't have the direction. We have to clearly spell out the direction. Maybe put up a committee of 5, 7, or 11 people to sit down in a room or in a hotel, lock themselves up, come up with a vision, a mission, and an ideology of what we want. So I also put up a constitution, how people join that particular. Then we see which kind of structure is going to be useful for us. Is it top to bottom or bottom up that we want to do? We can put up the positions that we think we need, the structure we need. What type of website do we need for intention for we're intended to do that kind of activity we want to do? How transparent our funding programs is going to be? Who and who's supposed to be trusted with the funds? How are we going to make sure that we carry everybody along? Above all, how are we going to manage our diversity in that particular environment of movement that wants to do? What are the things that we're supposed to do as activism? And what is the line between activism and being politicking? These are some things we want to make a clear spell out of what we want. So that once you come, we take off, just the way we see Mao do the Green Book for the Chinese people, for everybody to be on the same page of where they want to go with their country. That's exactly what we need to do. After we have done that, then we look at the schedules in our constitutions, because some people are saying that we have to do away with that constitution. We have never even practiced the constitution we have. The constitution we already have. So we didn't even test it to know whether it's working or it's not working. So I think it's very important for us to make sure that we sit, we look at how we want to do. For example, the issue of zoning. How are we going to zone these positions? For example, if we have a president coming from the north, vice president coming from the south, then how are we going to apply this to now work with the state structure? So that if for example, the president is coming from Northwest and he's coming from Sokoto, so the Sokoto, what zone is the president coming from? He's coming from Sokoto South Senatorial District. So that's mean the governor is supposed to come for so place, the deputy governor comes. We spell it out using an application, using his IT background that some of us have to create that system, so that we can know exactly what time is my time, what time is your time, what time is the time for so person, so that every locality around the country will have a semblance of how they are going to be governed and how they're going to be part of the meeting. For example, if you take the Sokoto North, and give them the deputy governor, then the SSG come from so place. But there is going to be a position for a senator. Then you continue with that in that local government. Which local government is this person coming from? And you dig it. If you put up a small what do you call it, software architecture, he can sit down and do all this navigation for you. In China, they have what is called development strategy platform, where each local government, each ward, each province know exactly when that kind of development is coming to them. And I had a story, somebody told me that they traveled for a wedding for one of the ministers of infrastructure in China. And they were reaching to his village, they realized that they don't even have a road for them to go to his village. And somebody asked him, say, as a minister, why don't you just approve a road to your village? He said, my village is supposed to get the road in the next 2 years, and I don't want to alter the calendar. If I alter the calendar and now move it for me to have, because I'm having wedding, then I've altered the calendar for other people that are waiting, that are not agitated, are waiting for their own time for them to get their own road. This kind of things that we're supposed to have. If we look at the Section 15 of our Constitution, if we do what the Section 15 of our Constitution told us to do as an entity of democracy, we will not be where we are today, thinking of whether to push it left or this right. So I think it's something that we need to sit down and clearly spell out what we want to do. Then put a timeline for us. What are we supposed to be doing from June 2024 to June 2025 with a timeline achievable. Every group, every member of the Obidient has to have a task of what they're supposed to do. And then let's see how we are going to cascade it. If we can launch an office by June in Abuja as a national or global office for Obidient Movement, then we cascade it to state. Each office we open in the state donated to us, then we carry Mr. Peter Obi and others and his team to go and commission it. Then we open local government, then we use the state executive to now launch it. Up to the time we go on to the world level. And also everything will be seen on the dashboard. We see where we have the people and where we don't have anybody and where we channel our own energy. And also to ask the people in diaspora to do what is called word adaptation. So you adopt a word. You don't have to come from Southeast and also be in the Southeast for you to participate. If you like, you can adopt a word, maybe in Sokoto or in Leda, and also be part of their executive. You join them in a Zoom meeting like this, and also you participate in asking them, in helping them, in shaping the ideas of what they need to do for them to move the movement forward, and also to create a very powerful and robust media and communication facility that will help us send information down and also receive information from the bottom, which will allow us to have direction of what to do, when to come out, when to demonstrate, when to be on the street, when to go out of the street. And these are some of the things that we're supposed to do. If we have this simple idea of all these things that we have, and then we push forward, I think it's going to be easier for us to take off the cannon. But this is just what I'm coming from my head, and also some of the things I know are running in the head of our principal, Mr. Peter Obi, and also some of the elite obedience that I've been speaking with. But I think when we sit down, everybody, we're not going to monopolize the knowledge. I think it's something that is supposed to be open and all inclusive for every obedient to bring his thoughts, so that we can, at least in the next 2 months or 1 month, we put up the thoughts into a paper that we can now present to the whole Obidient movement, so that to be a guide for us to take us where we want us to go in the next 100 years.
Okay, thank you. Just one last question, please, before I hand back to Mr. Elvis. This is all a brilliant idea you have just clearly espoused. My worry is taking into consideration that some organizations are already kind of doing what you have just said. I know that Concerned Stakeholders Forum, led by Engineer Gambo, I also know
I'm the financial secretary.
Very good. Excellent. And I know that Coalition for Protection of Democracy, COPDEM, has also been doing a lot in that regard. We also have the Big Tent, which you are also a member of Big Tent. Now, so how possible will it be for all these organizations to now collapse their structure into what you have just said, especially if P2B himself does not come forward to organize the structure you have just
Well,
explained?
he must come forward. He must organize Nigerians. I think he said it yesterday. He's coming out and he wants us to organize ourselves. And he's going to be the arrowhead for it. So any other person that is going to come, that's why I said, thank God we already have the leadership in front of us. If we don't have the leadership, then we have a problem. But the leadership is already around. Where he goes to, that's where all of us are going to go. You can't be obedient on another side of the obedient movement. Definitely, you'll be on the obedient, on the front walk of what the obedient movement is doing. I always tell them, if you start the movement by June, for example, if you shave down 1 million people, it's okay. That's what it's called a movement. It's okay. Then your activity, your focus, your resilience, and what you want to achieve will bring more genuine people back. Some people just need a nomenclature, a leadership nomenclature. For example, if you said today, I'm just an ordinary person in CSF, then I said, I'm not doing, I'm going. That's mean I didn't believe with the movement at the initial. It's not about leadership. Once you tell me tomorrow that I'm just going to be an ordinary member, I will still be that ordinary member and give my 100% of what you want to do. Even if they are going for the Obidient Movement coalition and tell us we are not going to be part of the leadership, our own is just for us to make sure that it works. We give our 100%. So that's the kind of thing I said from my introduction. I said what we need is that patriotic system within us, and that's what failed the Abure-led National Executive Council. And then if it failed them, the same thing, it will fail Mr. Gambo or any other person that is heading any organization. If you feel that he can relinquish his own movement for the bigger Nigeria, then definitely we are not moving to where we want to move to. I think the most important in all of us is that if you see somebody that is better than you, if you see somebody that can do it much better than you, that's how other countries build their system. That's how Chinese build their system. I supposed to even recommend you and said, no, not me. So person is more better. Or more for the optics for now, is so person can do it for us. I think that mentality that I must be on the head, and I forgive everyone in 2023 because we don't know each other. There is a lot of doubt, there is a lot of feelings and things like that. That some people are coming to cash out and things like that. But now the water has get its level. It's either you do it or you can't do it. And I think we were in Kano some few days. Abba Yesiya will tell you some of them are even trying to fight the other person that Obi came to give them money and he refused to give that. I said that's not the kind of politics we are going to do. We have already looked at that one. If you can fund yourself, if you can't have a group that can fund itself, if you cannot bring how you can summon yourself and create a financial backup for you to move on, so don't put this pressure onto the politician, because if you put it and they paid you, then definitely they will do whatever they want to do when they take over. So I think we have to be strong to know that this is not the usual political arrangement we are going to have. This is going to be something like a movement, like a Tea Party in the US within the Republican Party, so that at least we can shape the convention, shape the thoughts, and also reach out to people to get those ideologies out for the people to understand that building in Nigeria is more important than the small money you are going to. Mr. Obi has told us that in Lagos, he met a woman that he said that she donated 60 million to him through somebody, and that person refused to give him the 60 million. And he promised the woman and said, I will talk to him, he will bring back your money. As I bet you, if she gave him that money last year, I think we did our election, let's say February, I swear to my God, he said that 60 million, you will not find it within the next 3 months in the go. So what people don't understand is that even if you collect 1 billion naira today, if we meet with you in the political mindset that people have, if I meet with you in a year, I can get even 500 million from that amount of money. But what is it if you build a country and you are not lazy, everybody will have something to do, more especially people from the diaspora. You will come back to Nigeria. Nigeria is a very lovely place. It's the best place for you to be rich. It's the best place for you to earn a living. It's the best place for you to earn dollars, even if you want to make dollars in Nigeria. So I think it's better for us to build a system that can serve all of us than for us to go for an immediate gain, which will last a very difficult life for you ahead of what you want to do. I think we are more wiser now. We are better understood, and also we have to take this thinking to our younger ones that are 15 years, 14 years. which are going to be 18 years in the next election, for them to understand why we are bringing what we are bringing, and also to charge them to go and make sure that at least they collected their PVC. And also, if they don't have PVC, we guide them on how they are going to get and be active in the school life, in universities, and also to see what we want to do. So it's a huge process in front of us. I think we really need to bring ourselves together and see how we are going to move that system forward.
Thank you. Mr. Elvis, are you there? Take over. Thanks very much, Mr. Abdulkarim.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. I'm finding this very interesting. But I want to do a follow-up on the discussion we were having along the same line of questions that my leader has just asked you. You talked about finding another tent should the Abure-led team refuse to do what is right. But there are lots of obedient out there who believe that forming the Obidient Party, they call it the Obedient People's Party. There are a lot of people who are talking about that right now. That would be the best thing for the Obidient movement. Are you people having a thought along this line, or you join and you have the plan to join another political party? Remember that Peter Obi was in the sorry, let me just quickly finish. Remember that Peter Obi was in ABGA, then PDP, and then he is now in the Labour Party. So most people believe that, there's no difference between him now and most of these politicians who are moving from one political party to another. But he has been able to form and champion the Obidient movement. Will it be okay for him and others who are with him, like yourself, to form the Obedient People's Party that people are yearning for, should the Abure-led team refuse to do what is right for the party, or you're going to move to another political party? We need to know, people need to know what is actually on the table. What direction are you thinking?
I think it's easier for you, it's even better for you to have a movement first before you can now raise anything to a political party. If you say Obedient Political Party, OPP, for example, that they are suggesting, you cannot even register it, because if you read the acts of INEC in party registration, you will not have a chance for you to register something like that. Some people don't actually look at the INEC acts, the constitutions, and other things that are guiding people to whatever they want to do. They just come with emotions to start talking online and also making conversation. I think it's very good not to be intellectually lazy when we want to do and present things to people. At least just by a key of your own handset, you can Google and see whether it's a path you can go or a path you will not go. I think we resolve within the people around the PO to make sure that at least the movement goes first. Even if we are going for a mega party, which we are part of the conclusion that we're having, get 2 or 3 people, 2 or 3 parties to merge to create a new name, because it's faster for you to create a merger than for you to have an approved INEC to approve you to have a party. Even though it was okay from the act that if you apply after 60 days, they refuse to, after they have done the inspection and they refuse to give you a certificate, automatically you are a party. So what if they refuse to even accept your application and refuse to write back to you that have accepted your application? Because we wanted to register a party which we call Compatriot Party of Nigeria, CPN, in 2022. I think we started with our friends. We write our constitutions, we write our manifesto, we send to INEC, we pick a form, we fill our form, we do everything, INEC wrote back to us. We pick up the logo and things that we want to do. But we are trying to understand that selling a brand is only what we can do if we can project something that from now in the next 20 years. And most of the young Nigerians and also the older Nigerians, we don't have a spirit of patience, the way we have seen what happened in Senegal. Sometimes we want it now and now. I think that's even what killed the whole system in the country. Even our directors and even the police and the military, everybody wants to get rich quick. Everybody wants it now. You can go and see young people just 17 years, 18 years going Yahoo just because they want to have it now. So I think we have a serious problem of we want it now. So I think the best thing for us to do is that we create this movement, move ourselves up to a mega party. If we come get the beginning, even if we arrange the Labour Party, we're going to go and head the Labour Party for a mega party, because part of what I think everyone believes is that one single party cannot win the election for you. And in winning election, you have to go with the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's not something that you just go to get exactly, but have to understand you have a clear part of what you and where you want to go to. That's why I've always liked on the issue that up to today, we don't have that national vision where everybody is keen into it. A local government chairman is keen into it. A councillor is keen into it. Everybody along the strata is keen into one simple system that we want to do. So without that, it's going to be very difficult for us to understand where we want to go to. So even if you put up a party, it's not something that by tomorrow you get the party. But if you want to put up a movement by tomorrow, you can get a movement if you have the right leadership or where you want to go to and the activities you put up on the structure of that your movement and what you want to achieve. And it will give birth on its own. Sometimes we just rush things. If you didn't even rush it, it give back to a party along the way if we are working towards exactly the same vision that we want to achieve. I think it's a mindset issue which we can change it. Also, when I see tweets, I see people will now come and say, from the person tweet I have seen, this is the direction of somebody is giving. I think social media is one of the most complex place to take off a theory or something that you want to do analysis with. Because let me give you an example. When you go to politically, when you go to social media, that is the people that this is their first time in having any contact with politics. Some of them don't even know what party politics is all about. Some don't even know the difference between activism and politics. These are a lot of challenges to have. It's just like you going to a class. In a class, you have somebody in grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, university, master's degree, everybody in the same. All of them may be economics class with all this range of people. How do you start to lecture them? Are you going to take your lectures to a grade 1 lecture while you have somebody that is already having a master's in that particular class? So in politics, we jam everything together. There is no any segregation. I say, okay, these are the first class politicians that you talk to them. These are the second class. Sometimes the lower politician, if he talks to you, you'll feel that maybe it's at that highest level of politics. You go to somebody that you see him very well grounded in politics, but if you make a mistake, you start to wonder, this one, is it a novice in this kind of game? So this kind of thinking that we have. So I think what we need to do is that once you bring all these things, I think most important is that you have a group of people, 7, 11, or any odd number that you can have into a room, digest all these activities and this thinking and everything that people are bringing into a document. Then you allow that document to go out to some few people so that they can criticize it and also add more flesh to it. Then you now bring it and have a second thought for it before you can now have a final document of where you want to go to. If you let's go at the history of American Constitution, you can find out exactly how they achieve it. You just need a backbone, somebody that will now uphold what you have done and push it. And number 2, we have to get what is called elite concession. We have to have a group of young people that will go and meet those elites that we think they are still causing the problem for the country. We would call them the fifth colonists. And some of them have their own backing from international communities and organizations. And also appeal to them and show them why it's not going to hurt anybody if we build a Nigeria that works for everybody. And then maybe we can pick from there and we'll start to go. I think we don't have to keep thinking of the theory. Like, for example, the people that build the aeroplane, somebody has to fly it and fall and die or break leg and things like that before it goes. So I think in political dispensation too, I think we have seen what the young people did in Senegal. Some of them were in jail, they make their first mistakes, and then today they have consolidated and become a victory for them. So I think we don't have to have a clear path of winning before we start. We start because I'm in the IT, I know how it works. all the softwares they have seen, all this Facebook, whatever, even the Zoom we are using today, it has said that it has a lot of bugs. Even tomorrow, if he wants to do updates, he will say they are looking for this. We are doing updates of the bugs. Or you have to talk to him. He's still on muting himself. The keyboard is there. Yeah, please just unmute. Allow it to be yourself to be on mute. It's where to be mute. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. I will give room for questions. People have been wanting to ask you questions directly from our participants. Before I let that, I want to ask you a final question. The Obidient Movement in Edo State, I think Edo State happened to be one of the states with the highest number of support groups. Yes, but they call the state the Obidient, the leaders of the Obidient Movement in Nigeria. Now, today, there's been some support groups who have come out to dissociate themselves from the Labour Party, citing corruption in the leadership of the party. A lot of them cite a lot of issues, a lot of reasons why they are dissociating themselves from the Labour Party. My question to you is, does the team have a grip on the Obidient Movement in Edo State? Do you have a direct relationship with the movement? Can you speak for what is happening in the state today, in Edo State?
Yeah, sorry, call is just trying to call me. So I don't have any direct, but most of the players are friends and acquaintance. And also I'll come from the angle where my principal, Mr. Peter Obi, has spoken yesterday. And before that meeting, we had another meeting yesterday with a group of young people. We call it Obidient Focus. And part of things we said is that if you said you are obedient because you want to see Peter Obi as the president of this country. I don't know, people listening to me here, if there is anybody that have any contrary definition of what obedient means. I know it's a group of Nigerians that want to see actualization of Mr. Peter Obi as the president of this country. So if you come down to subnationals, for example, up to, let's say, Edo, and now we have a candidate, and you said to your candidate that I want to vote APC, or I want to vote PDP. So my question and my worry is that, are you still obedient? If you say no, fine, we don't have a problem. I'm no more obedient, because if you vote in APC, definitely by 2027, that APC governor will not work for Mr. Peter Obi. He will work for Aswaju. And he will be an obstacle for Peter Obi to be the president of Nigeria. And then Edo is going to exist even after 2027 election or 2024 election. I think it's this year the election is going to come up. It's going to exist beyond that. But if PO tomorrow becomes the president, part of the things that I'm very happy what he's saying, he talked about this issue of tenure of 5 years for president. We don't have to go for two terms. And also he talked about the rotation of that presidency. If we are obedient in Edo, it'd be easier for us to champion the cause of that, what they call it, in the equity that they want, or the injustice they have seen from other senatorial districts, that they think that it's time for them to have their. We can solve it, because at that time we have a principal, a president that understood exactly the pain of minority, the pain of other groups that have been denied opportunity to govern. And he has already taken on himself that this is what he wants to do. That's what I said. Every other action, when you are in a party going in a movement for this kind of a movement, what is being tested is your patriotic nature and how you feel. Did you feel your tribe above getting the actual what is bigger in the picture? If you say, okay, you must do PDP because you feel about your own people, I cannot understand because I'm from Sokoto, this is a problem in them. So I allow you with your problem. After you solve your problem, are you solving the Obidient major problem that we have for us putting Obi? The answer is zero. It's no. So I said, if you want to discuss this with anybody that is Obidient, tell him whether win or lose, there is going to be a door in 2031, 2051, 2071, 2081 election. You can still address the problem you want to address. But now we want to see that we fix and have a Nigeria that we believe in and put up somebody that can help us so that this agitation, a lot of people, even in the northern part of the country, have been marginalized. You see somebody become speaker in Sokoto, become House of Rep member in Sokoto, become governor in Sokoto. What about the other groups? You go to the Zamfara is the same thing. If you go to Ibrahim, that's what every place there's people that are going to. Even if you said it's a small local, even in the same house, this one will say that it's from the same father, and this one is from the same mother, and they have problems between themselves. They even go to court. Some even kill each other because of that. So the division is not going to stop. But what we need to stop is the transactional democracy that we have seen in front of us, where competence, capacity has thrown into the back seat. And then people, whether capacity or no capacity, they just throw the card of, we are being marginalized, we are coming from the minority, we are social placed, then they create the sympathy aspect of their human life and also grab the seat for them to move forward. So in terms of Edo, what I'm seeing is that first thing you just ask yourself, any conversation you're having with anybody that says he's going to pitch his tent to a PDP or a APC based on marginalization or anything, the first thing you're supposed to ask him, are you an Obidient? If he say yes, so the goal of Obidient as defined by the movement is to see how we are going to take Mr. Obi to become our next president. That's the movement we have for now. So what is the next? If you are not going to do Obi, then you said, okay, I am not going to do Obi. I'm not Obidient. I'm going to my din. I'm not a Labour. Because we said it categorically clear yesterday. He's still in Labour Party. And he's still supporting Apata in Edo. So, and he said that, and he don't want anybody to do anti-party. And also people that feel they believe in what he is doing, they should help Apata to win, because we need that Edo energy of obedience when we want to win election in 2027. We want the dancing of the Edo people. We want the intellect of Edo people. We don't want it to be a place that we have a hostile governor that cannot even allow us to have a good rally. A hostile governor that he wants to do what is called eye service to Oswaju, that he's always going to even arrest some of this young obedience for us during the time that we need them for the national election. This is the problem we're having. And I think they can look inward and also look beyond just Edo or just their tribe or just their zone and look at the bigger picture of where we want to go to. If they have this heart and they are patriotic, let's move Nigeria forward. Forget about it. It will happen to us, but let's see what we will do to make sure that we have two governors instead of one governor. And he gave a good example yesterday. He said now OT is performing, every people are looking at it. If we have another governor and he's performing like OT, we have now two places that we can show kids. That's what we are doing, and it will propel us whatever we want to do. Even if we are going for merger, even if we are going to stand for inside Labour, even if we want to create another party, but this is who we are. This is what we represent, and these are the kind of acts people will see on ground. Thank you.
All right, is Mr. Elvis there? We have a hand,
Yeah.
Joshua Abraham, yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. Madam Abdulkarim, I greet you once more. Great perspective you have shown this afternoon. I have been privileged to have worked with Mr. Elomba as the coordinator of POSN in Kaduna, and as well as the coordinator of the Big Tent under the DG of Malam Abdulkarim. Two things I would want to say. The first one is I am 100% an Obidient, simply because I believe that Peter Obi has the 3 C's of leadership: character, competence, and capacity. For me, Nigeria will go beyond just a Peter Obi. Rather, Peter Obi as a driving force for the new Nigeria we are expecting and we are looking at, we are hoping to get. How do we, the first question I want to ask is, a lot has been done, even under the big tent during the 2023 election, and also Peter Obi Support Network, which includes Sponsor Your Word project that you mentioned earlier as part of the structures you're going to build around the Obidient Movement. I'll speak specifically about Kaduna State, where I reside. I've been born and grown. Now, a lot has been done, like I said, in 2023 election. How do you galvanize what the successes that we got during the 2020 election and the structures that we already have, vis-a-vis looking at the distrust within that structure? Because of a lot of things I am aware you know that had happened within the Obidient Movement in 2023 election. How do you galvanize those structures? How do you build the confidence back of the people who still believe that Nigeria will be great again? That's one. The second question I'll pose to you, my DG, is this. What is the position? What is your personal position? What is the position of the big tent as regards the current crisis in the Labour Party? And what is the way forward? Thank you very much.
Let me just quickly, as you said, movement outlived the peoples that we see there in it. Today, Chairman Mao is not around. Mandela is not with us. Gandhi is not with us. Martin Luther King is not with us. But the structure they put, the thinking they put, the ideology they put, they are still going to last almost 1,000 years, more or more. So having somebody that you rally around him, that's a system. Even in religion, we have the Jesus, we have the Prophet Muhammad, we have any other thing that you can think of. That's how we create society. Societies are created in the backbone of somebody that is going to champion what is going to happen. So there is going to be life after Mr. P.O. And but now we have a rallying point. It may be you, Abraham, it may be Elvis or any other of us here, but God happens to be it's Peter Obi, and it's going to uplift him. So don't worry about now. That's why I said we have to put up a vision, a mission, and ideology in a straightforward way we want to go in the next 100 years. Next 100 years, you are not going to be around. I'm not going to be around. And we're doing it for our younger ones. So I think it's just to put up a proper plan of what we want to achieve. That's number one. If you asked me on the issue of the crisis, I will just refer to what our chairman said on General TV. He said, is there any convention? He will find out if there is convention. And that doesn't mean actually what he's saying, he's not even aware of what happened. I told you he's part of what Mr. Peter Obi has asked the Labour Party chairman to go and consult with them before he take off his date or what he wants to do. So as a big tent, I can't talk beyond what my chairman said, Mr. Patotoni, but Prof has said it. It was live on television when he did it. He said he's not even aware that he cannot even give recognition that something really happened. So in the big tent, we don't have anything that to say. Apart from let's see what the reconciliation will bring. Let's see how they are going to call us for a closed door meeting for us to have this conversation and open up everything to everyone. That these are the crises that we pass through. These are the mistrust that we pass through. These are the thinking that everybody is having about the Labour Party and also all the support groups. Almost everybody is guilty. Everybody is not happy with what really happened. Where do we forward? For what we will do? The leadership are there, we are there, all of you are there, then we can charter a new course for where we want to go to. We can go back in time to undo what happened in 2023. We know we have really not done well in terms of trusting each other with funds. Everybody is trying to blackmail each other. Each group is trying to outdo each other. I know some places they don't even like to see us as coming as a support group to help them. You don't even know the history where Big Ten is coming from. But notwithstanding, it's supposed to be a new down for all of us. I think it's supposed to be a learning curve. We need to push ourselves forward. What I really, really want us to reduce on all this conversation we're having is transactional politics. A lot of people I met from CPC to APC, 2015 election to 2020 election, most of the young people that have all the structure for the so-called name structures of the having, most of them are just transactional people. They normally does nothing if you are not being paid. And also some of them just design a system where you just have a system where they collect money. And nobody is trying to be transparent enough to showcase what they have. If you go, they don't have a website. At the end, you see one person accusing the other person that they giving money, he refused to give them this one, blah, blah. Yesterday, last week, we were in Kano, and I was so surprised. Someone called that they want to beat off one of the person that Obi met. One of the chairman of the Labour Party and one of the local government, what happens to come to the meeting that we're supposed to do with that small support group, some of the men guys that supported Mr. Pio in Kano. So he sat with them in British Palace. Then on the table, when they are introducing themselves, one of them called himself a Labour Party chairman in the local government. Then Pio said, you have to excuse us because this is not a party issue we are going to do. We want you to go by the side. When they move to the side, say, you see the problem I'm having now. You see these people, if I allow them to sit down here, they will go to take pictures. And they will now go to tell the other groups that they are the authentic Labour Party because Peter Obi said to them. And they will now start to create that division that was not there in their mind. And then the crisis will now start. Notwithstanding, after we left Kanu, before we even reach where we are going to, the fight now start. They said the person, Wan Shuaibu, he contested for election. Then this party person said, PO has given them money to give them. He was not there. He was not in the meeting. But he just felt that PO has come to Kanu, he must give them something. And that something has given to that person that PO sat with. For example, Abraham, you come to me to my house, then we have a meeting. One of them now where I said, Big Ten DJ has come. He has given Abraham 1 million naira to divide for them. Well, it's a lie. They know it's a lie, but somebody will just put it within the system. That's all. Before you know it comes to you, some people, when they want to beat you up, you have to start explaining yourself. So I told them this transactional system that we have in our mind, that anytime you see a politician, somebody has dropped something. Even if they see somebody, even if there's somebody that I just called, Abraham, why are you? After you finish your call, he said, it's our DJ now. He just called me. He said that he's in town. Some people will stick around him that day. They will not allow him to move because maybe he's going to go and collect. Even though it's a private meeting or a personal meeting between me and Abraham. So that's kind of thinking we have to see how we are going to dismantle it. It's not going to be an easy something. It's something that everybody knows what is happening in the political cycle. And it's going to continue, but we have to correct it. We have to start people to now give people a tax that they will do within themselves. Some people, when we were in APC, we did the scratch card for Buhari. Somebody will come to me and tell me, I have gone to the East because you know that time we don't have any people supporting us from the East, for example. So we are going to East for the campaign. He said, I have a structure in Anambra and I have it even in Imo. I have this number of people that I'm going to bring, 120,000 of them, blah, blah, blah. They are going to vote Buhari. He said, I should give him money. I said, I don't have money, but I will give you the scratch card. He said, I carry this scratch card. Any amount you, if I give you a scratch of 10 million, once you sell that one, just do it with the activity you want to do. So when I give him, then I will now see him because you have to text back the number that we're giving to you. So I will just see the number coming from Abaji, Buhari, Abaji, Buhari, Abaji. So I call him, I said, Oga, you say you are going to the East. And the scratch card I gave you is coming Abaji and Buhari. Because he was not on ground, but he thought that that's the mindset, that's the thinking. Everybody wants to come and see what he will do. Some just come and just give a story. But what we want to do is that we want to do an actual system that every group will see themselves and see the activities and get the leadership. And then we have to find it within ourselves, with the patriotic thinking that we have for Nigeria, to at least trust each other. And if the leadership open up, the way we are asking all-inclusive convention for the National Labour Party, the same thing, we need the same thing in all the support group and everybody that wants to work with. Let it be open. This is what we are doing. This is our activity next tomorrow. And allow people to criticize you. Actually, we are a leader. It's just what they need to do for them to keep you in check. So allow them to criticize you, but make sure that you have a system where you explain to them where you are carrying them to. That's very easy. If I stop a vehicle now and I'm going to Sabo, for example, in Kaduna, and nobody is shouting Sabo Sabo, nobody is shouting the destination where we're going, I get agitated. Or maybe I start thinking maybe I'm in one chance. So I think let's take that wider and broader mindset of seeing things to accommodate everybody to push ourselves forward. I hope I answer your question, Abraham.
Not exactly, not all. The biggest part you have not really answered, which I say, how do you galvanize the structures that are in place?
Leadership, that's what I'm saying. If you create a system, you have a vision, you have a mission, you have a manifesto, you have exactly what you want, and you have a leadership of Mr. Peter Obi, and you call people on board of that particular platform of what we want to do, and we open up, we become transparent, we do whatever we want to do with people. I don't. That's the explanation I gave you. I don't know why. Which part you miss it?
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. That's okay.
I thought you want us to say, okay, you bring this one, go to jail, this one gets 20 stroke of cane because what he has done. Yeah, it's not good work. Yeah, definitely.
No, not at all. Yes, not at all. My idea is, one of the things I always will talk about is, we are in the era of social media, where you have a lot of persons on the social media spaces doing all kinds of things for all kinds of reasons. Now, where you find one person in 20 groups, that is 1/20, not 20/20. That is one of, because when you work with data and statistics, I happen to be a student of, a new student of politics. I've not been an active politician. I just started off. I did that in school as a union president, but since then I have not been in active politics. But I am a new student in politics, SPPG precisely. And one of the biggest things we will talk about is data. Now, I always preach this fact that, like you have rightly said, one person will come up and do all kinds of things for a particular purpose. Where you have one person having 10 groups, 100 people in those 10 groups, meaning 100 people, 10 times 10, 100. But the actual people are actually 10, not even 100. How do you walk around getting your data of the actual people in the Obidient movement, not multiplying them?
Every person is going to be registered to a ward. We have 8,809 wards, and it's going to be on the dashboard. If I click you can only be in one ward. You can't be in 10 wards. Even if you have different groups that it belongs to, we are going to work with you based on it. In that place, we get the leadership. So you cannot be a leader in this ward and also register yourself in another. The system will not even accept you. It can only accept you in one. So that's it. We use technology. I think last election, we have not make the best use of technology in terms of transparency, crowdfunding, and any other thing that we want to do, or dissemination of information. But this time around, we have a whole of 3 years to go. I think within that 3 years, I think at the early stage of what we are going to do is to make sure that we have a robust website that is going to capture people up to the award, get the leadership, local government, get the leadership up to the final level of where we want to go. So that's why I told you that most of young people multiply themselves into what they want, what they are not, until keep talking to people of what the achievement they have done. But if I say that, if you have a meeting now, for example, in your ward, you upload the meeting. Somebody will not take that same meeting of your ward and upload it in another department, because you are going to the one that is going to tell us that this is not their own ward. It's the work that you have done in your own ward. So I think even Facebook can give you that kind of thing if you want. Even a small WhatsApp group can give you, but I think we are going to have a robust technology that will help us handle that problem.
Fantastic. So that's where the problem has been for me. But thank you very much, Mbiji, for a robust conversation this afternoon.
Thank you.
Ramadan Karim.
Thank you, Joshua.
Is Mr. Ellis there? Okay, Mr. Ebwe, Martin.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Mr. Abdulkarim. You've spoken very well about the processes and workflow that you think will move Peter Obi to become president of Nigeria. My only worry about Nigerians and Nigeria is this, that it appears from over the years, so many people have thrown the morality of that country into the winds. You know, we have had beautiful speeches, we have had beautiful, eloquent promises. And as soon as they grab the power, they become an animal, they become something else. So I'm going to have about 2 or 3 questions, probably you might throw some insight to me. The first one is going to be, did you guys who are members of the Labour Party, did you read the Constitution before you became members, or you just joined because Peter Obi was there? That's one question. Because the crisis you are having now, I believe, was caused by that Constitution. So if I were in you guys' shoes at that point in time, you would have left Abure alone, changed the Constitution before you went after Abure. But that wasn't done. 2, the Peter Obi campaign council did a terrible job. You just showed me one. Maybe the woman wasn't a part of the campaign council, but he gave money to somebody who was supposed to give it to the campaign council for Peter Obi's election, and nobody followed up. That brings me to accountability and transparency. How do you build it into this new establishment that you want to form? Because the average Nigerian does not like to be held accountable. The only exception to me right now is Peter Obi. All the other ones, maybe they have a few of them here and there, but that's not enough. 3, you don't have to invent or reinvent the wheel. There are good support groups right now who are out there that have constitutions, they have everything. My advice to whoever who has the ear of Peter Obi is this: have these major support groups elect who they want to be in a committee to reconcile their constitutions. Bearing in mind that the most important thing in that constitution is how to hold people accountable. You do not give Abure all the power in the world and expect him not to be a dictator. So those are just the areas I want you to talk into. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I told you, I myself personally have written a constitution for CNF, a party that we wanted to register. And I went through, now as I talk to you, I wanted to even share it last week, but I just hold it because of the convention. We have the amendment for, I can share it with the leadership of here so that you can go through it. We have what is called the amendment of the Labour Party constitution, which we have already done the amendment. We just wondered if we have given chance to be part of the convention for us to present. And we have already repelled some of the bylaws and also created the new bylaws that we wanted to be used in there. That's what I said. All this one people are talking about, we just ask questions. What we need to do is that we have to dig deep. And I like this, your question that you're asking whether we have read it. At least if you count how many of us are here, maybe let's say we are 31 on this platform. How many of them have a chance of going through it, talk less of even making an amendment? If I ask you, do you have any amendment that you can send to us so that we can have it to add to the amendment that we have? A lot of people don't even look at it that way. But also we have reached a level, I can share it with the leadership here so that they can look at the bylaws and also look at the amendment we already have for the Labour Party so that it can work, the Labour Party will work for everybody. And the issue of accountability on the issue of the woman that you said that they have failed you, you have to understand how politics works. It's not that when you are giving somebody money, I can give money to somebody today and I will tell nobody to know that I have given that money. I can call Yeah. So I can call PO and tell him that I want to give him donation and I don't want anybody to know about the donation. There is donation that goes directly into the system. There is donation that don't go through the system. So what we are talking about is the leadership that we're all asking of, and also the best use of the money that was given to somebody. We can trust you and give you the money, even if you didn't give us the accountability, or we have seen what you have done, and people can around you, the people that you work with can vouch to you whether you are a good person to be accountable to what we are giving you, or you are a person that we know good people, we know bad people within the society. We know people that can work with people, we know people that cannot work. But what I'm always saying is that let's have where those money that are passing through the system, the way we did the presentation of the money, the donation that's given to us through the account that is handled by Pastor, what's his name? And Aisha Yusufu. We have a press conference and we submitted all the documents, how much comes into the account, how much spent from the account. It was we give it to, it was on live program on channels, which we have done that one. That's what is called accountability. And then the other ones that this kind of one that we don't know who was given to is through somebody. I can just call Joshua and say, take this to so person. You can't change it. It's politics. That's how it's done. Even in the US politics, that's how it's done. Some of these things, you can track them. The ones that you can track, the ones that open organization that do donation to what they call them, to politicians. And in the US, you have to account with all the monies that comes to you, and in the UK. But in Nigeria, it's only Peter Obi, only him, only Labour Party, even not the party, money given to Peter Obi. It's the only money. We have 418 people that contested. All of them, nobody take it. And it's part of the electoral act that you have to submit your finances to INEC after election. But nobody. Even what they call it, declaration of assets. Who does that openly now? Nobody. We don't know how much posted by our governors, our ministers, our president. We don't know. Nobody knows Buhari and Tinubu what he has submitted. So issue of transparency, I think what we need to do is that make it an open government. Let it be something that the account people can see it. So that's why in my presentation at the earlier stage, I said we have to have a robust website where anything that is coming in, we're seeing it. Anything that is going out, we're seeing it. If you can have this two-way of seeing it, it's not everything you catch. There's no any system that you don't see people still sneaking away out of the radar. Anywhere you are in the world. But what we need is that we minimize what we need. So we are not going to say we are disappointed with the PCC. No, they have done their work. They have done what they're supposed to do. But what we need to do is that when we sit down to actualize what we want to do, let it be very important that we have put accountability at the topmost aspect of what we want to do, so that we can keep on creating peoples like Aburi and his gang in trying to adjust our party to bring the best president that we think that can bring Nigeria forward. So I think it's part of what we're supposed to do, and are well noted. And the issue of the reinventing the wheel, I think that's the direction we are asking for. We said we want to see a committee of 7, 11, 15, or 21 people that will say, okay, these are the constitutional review committee, or people that are going to put up what we have. Then we now look at everybody what is bringing on board. From that day that I make my post today, I have more than 100 different messages on my DM, and a lot of them having something that they have done already. Some have already reached. They have a sizable number of people on their platform. So when we want to go, definitely we have to bring everybody, because that's the data that we want to sink into some system and move ourselves forward. So it's not something that we keep it to one side and we work with another side. And definitely everybody is supposed to come on board. Everybody has to be part of what we want to, because if we didn't do that, definitely we will create more problem than the solution we want to bring. But it's okay on a movement. You can shave down so many people before you can raise up again, for you to have the genuine people that really wants to work with you.
So just a little bit of a follow-up to what I said before. Like the major concern I have, that was the biggest concern I have about the Labour Party constitution. And I hope it doesn't repeat itself in whichever constitution you want to put together. that the chairman of a national party should be the one to call a meeting that he's going to be removed from. It doesn't make a single sense anywhere in the world. It's
very
tantamount to asking Anini the arm robber to set up a tribunal that is going to
Mr. Martin, Mr. Martin, it's well understood where you're coming from. That's what I'm saying. If you see lacuna, what you do, you put up your own paper and biro and say, these are some of the things that I think. If we repel this, we add this. Or we add this, we put back this. This is what is going to help. Once we are going on to that committee to move, then we said, Mr. Martins has given us so thing to look at it. If you talk to me online, my number, I will give you my number. Give me contact. I will give you my own bylaws that we have written and also the adjustment we want to put into the constitution. Very fantastic. You go through it. So,
yeah,
so
thank you, Abdulkarim. I don't like to do things on individual basis. That is not my style because I believe that individual development is no development. Communal development is what it is. So whatever changes I'm going to suggest, please just hear me. Whatever changes I'm going to suggest, I would like it to come through the organization that I belong in Nigeria that is called COPDEM. I'm a member of COPDEM. I'm one of their board of trustees. Whatever suggestion I want to make, let it come through that organization to...
the same thing we are saying. The same thing we are saying. Just what you just said is that you send it through the content. That's all. You don't have to bring all this. Just bring it. Okay. So we are saying the same thing.
All right. Thank you.
The same thing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful having you. We hope we can always have you on this show.
By special grace of God, anytime we have a time to explain some of the things that is happening, why not?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I want to also appreciate the organizers. I want to appreciate the executive of COPDEM for this platform. Thank you all. Guests, we have a lot of questions that people want to ask, but we've already taken a lot of time. We can't take all the questions we have today. So we believe that our subsequent programs, people can always join the program to ask their questions as it is. We give opportunity to as many as we can in each of the episodes to ask the question. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim, the DG of the ICC, that is Independent Campaign Council of the Obidient Movement. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for coming.
Mr. Elvis, please, if you will forgive me, comrade, did he leave? Bashir, there was a time he raised up his hand before you wanted to end. Is he still here?
No, he went to pray. It's a time for prayers.
Oh, yes.
Wanted to talk and I has left for prayers. Me too.
All right. Okay, thank you. Go ahead and round up, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, Mr. Elvis, are you there?
Yes, sir.
I'm handing back to you, so you round up. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. I think with that, we actually come to the end of this episode. We look forward to the subsequent one. Thanks to all who participate. We appreciate you.